Hello everyone and welcome, it's Shanna. Now today I'm working with a special toast die set. I've also got the special toast sentiment set. I've got some bits and pieces that were in a bag from last time I used it. And then I'm bringing in this old Make It Merry floral set to bring in some poinsettias. This is a Christmas wedding. And I've got a scalloped oval die set, nested set from Spellbinders. And we're going to bring in some red and black. I've got this Born to Sparkle 3D embossing folder. I've cut all of the poinsettia pieces out of that red, and we're just going to layer this up. This is a wedding card for my daughter. She is going to a Christmas wedding. Her and her husband are going to a Christmas wedding with for some co-workers. So I'm just going to create this card, and I thought I might as well go ahead and turn on the camera. I'm actually creating two cards. I'm also going to create an engagement card for her best friend who just recently got engaged. And so we're going to use this set for both of these cards. Now, I don't have any card bases, so I'm just bringing in my scoreboard, and I'm just going to score this right down the middle at 4 1/4, and then we're going to cut it at 5 1/2, and we're going to create the two card bases that I need. I knew she needed this card, and I'd just been working on other things and these two cards, and the day was coming that she needed it, and I thought I better get working on these cards and get them ready to go. And then I thought, well, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to turn on the camera. I'd been doing all of the Advent calendar videos, and so it was actually kind of fun to work with a full set and just kind of put together pieces from a larger set. I've been doing all those little individual dies that were in the Advent calendar and trying to create with just the stuff contained within the Advent calendar. And so this was like a nice reprieve. Now this is going to air probably Christmas or after because I'm running all those Advent calendar videos, but this was in the mix while I was doing the Advent calendar videos. So you guys know I like to make the most of cardstock. This is Poppy cardstock from Spellbinders, and I don't like to waste it, and so I have used it to die cut out all of my poinsettias in that, and then we're going to just use it for the backer sheet. Now, I think my card base was off a little bit there, so we're just fixing it up there, and we're going to go with it. Now the green cardstock I've got is Fern. I'm using that. And then I've just got some Michael's black cardstock that I used for the 3D embossing. And this embossing folder is like diamonds. And I thought it would be fun to be the background and add some texture to this card. And so we're just going to layer it up. We've got the red on the bottom, the black, and then we're going to bring in the green. I'm just going to use black, red, and green for the Christmas theme. Like I said, it is a Christmas wedding. And so I thought it was very fitting to bring in those poinsettias and the sprigs of greenery and to just use these colors. And of course we brought in the silver metallic cardstock from Spellbinders just to add a little bit of bling, a little shine to it. And we needed that for our wedding ring and our engagement rings. And I think I used the silver for the diamond on this particular one. On the second card, I'll use some vellum for the diamonds, I believe. So we'll just get this scalloped, stitched oval panel laid down on here, and it'll give us a landing zone for our toasting glass that we're going to use here. And this is such a fun set. I've really enjoyed having it in my stash and being able to work with it. Now here, all of those pieces are die cut, and they could fall out, because that's how the die is designed to be used. But I wanted to just do something a little different, and so I left them in. And so I'm just going to bring in some double-sided tape and just kind of lay it across there just to hold all those in place so they won't fall out. And so I'm just going to lay that down on there. And I'm not sure if I even pull the backer off of it. I might just leave it and then glue it down. It's been probably a week since I did this card, so I'm trying to remember exactly what I did. I think I tried to pull it off, and then I decided just leave it alone. So we're just going to lay that down on there, and you can see it just kind of makes it look more like instead of like an etched crystal glass where the pieces are out, it kind of makes it look more like almost like a silver goblet. And I'm thinking about pulling it off here, and I think I give up and just lay it down. because sometimes it is hard to get that metallic to stick, and I think I was thinking if I could get that piece off there, it would stick all right. But we're going to lay so many things on top of this, we're not going to have to worry about it sticking. Here is where I'm going to add I use the silver for both the ring and the diamond here, and we're just going to kind of keep it simple. And I'm just going to line it up and try to pinch it with my tweezers to get it to stay. And it is a struggle. Whenever I have metallic cardstock, it's a challenge getting it to stick and then keeping it clean, because if you get any glue on there and then you smudge the glue, you kind of have a streak. But you can take like a microfiber towel and just wipe it off, and it'll clean up nice and look very nice. So we'll get some glue laid down on here, and we will get this ring stuck inside our glass. And I'm going to put just a little piece of foam behind. It's kind of hanging off that panel, and so I'm just going to use some foam just to help position that and to make it stick so it'll stay in place. Just using those tweezers to get everything aligned exactly like I need it. So there we go. We've got our toasting glass. Now we're going to bring in our black bow tie, our top hat. Now, some of these pieces I had in that plastic bag, I had already die cut out several things. And several of these things were in that plastic bag. And then I just grabbed the poinsettias and the sprigs. And I think I needed another one of these red. I thought I needed another one of these red ribbons, but I think I only wind up using the one. I don't know. Anyway, but I was glad when I pulled it out and I saw that I had several things die cut out, because it just made the process much easier for the assembly. And I decided I needed another piece of that red, so I went ahead and die cut it out. But I'm still not. I'm like, I don't know how these look. How these look. There's a small piece there that you line on that, and it kind of makes it look like, the ribbon is, kind of laying on top of itself or kind of curled a little bit. And that's what this piece is here too. And so I'm just getting it laid down on there. And I had to go looking for the second little red piece in that little baggie, and it was in there, and so I'm just going to pull it out, and we'll bring the other red piece in and get it glued down on there. So luckily I kept all that stuff. It took me a minute to find it, so I just kind of cut I edited out several minutes of me looking for that. So there we go. So it should go something like this. And it would be nice if they were all in the same color, so I think I'll choose to do something different with it, but we're just going to get to assembling. Now this has a pair of high-heeled shoes that are really fun. They're two pieces to it, and I've got red and black. You can kind of see the pieces laying down there, and it'll be fun coming together. I'm going to bring in some black foam squares and assemble my poinsettias, because I don't have like centers for them or whatever. So I'm going to put some black behind there, and it'll kind of cover up those holes that are die cut in the poinsettias. So I'm just going to lay those down there, and we'll just let the black foam peek out behind there. And I'm going to do the same with the little poinsettias. I've just got a few of those black foam tape squares left, so I think we're going to use up most of them on this particular card here. Just making sure I cover up all those holes that are die cut out in those pieces. I think I wind up bringing in some black gems or something to put on the poinsettias as well. Now here's the shoes that I was talking about. So you've got these black high-heeled shoes, and the black is like going to be the heel and then like the inside of the shoes, and then the red will be the decorative element of the shoes. And I love the add-on pieces that they have with this, with the top hat, the bow tie, the high-heeled shoes. I just think it's a super, super fun set. I don't know that if people even wear it. This is what I would call a pump, or in the, in old days, or I guess it kind of has a stiletto heel on it, but I don't know if people wear that style anymore or not. I know I used to have several of them. I don't have them anymore, but anyway, so I also took some greenery and 3 holly berries here. I think I die cut multiples of these so that I could use. Not sure what I'm going to use, but I just thought I needed these Christmas elements since this is a Christmas wedding, and we'll use them to adorn the card. So I was kind of fixing that foam tape that was sticking out I didn't want to show. And I'm going to just kind of layer these shoes together on the card, and I think it'll be super cute. I'm going to actually wind up tucking the other one behind there, but we just glued them down flat instead of, popping them up. I've been kind of getting a little leery of popping everything up. Now, this card was hand delivered, but gosh, when I was going to the post office every day to mail my Christmas cards, I had so much dimension on them that it was creating a little bit of a problem. So I did the best I could, but yeah, I had some pretty ornate Christmas cards with quite a bit of dimension, and some of them weren't going to make it through that tiny little slit. And that can be costly. Anyway, so I'm going to get this top hat laid down on there. We've got our shoes, and we're going to put our bow tie on there, and then we're just going to start adding the floral elements as well, and just really decorating this card right up. And I mentioned I'm bringing in the Special Toast Sentiments. That is a butter press plate, and you can use, there's a whole variety of sentiments in that set. I'll link everything in the description box below so you can check it out if you want. But you've got Pop, Clink, Fizz, and Celebrate. The sparkle says it all. A ring, a promise of a lifetime. Cheers to happily ever after, which we will use on the outside of the card. Cheers to happily ever after. And then I think I put a ring, a promise, a lifetime on the inside is what I used for that. But it's a really fun set. So we're going to bring in our poinsettias and our ferns and just start kind of embellishing our glass there. I'm just getting all those little backer sheets off that foam tape I've got on there, and we're just going to stick it down and just kind of layer it up. I think I decided to offset it and just kind of layer them on top of each other, and then bring in two of the littler ones and just kind of adjust them. And then it'll be like we have 3 flowers, and then we're going to have our holly. And I'll try and figure out where I'm going to put it and how I'm going to make it work. And sometimes it's just a process of trial and error, just kind of moving it around and seeing how you might want to make it fit in there. And I've decided to go ahead, and the upper, right-hand side of the card is a little bit bare compared to the left side, so we're just going to add that there. And then we'll bring in that third little flower and figure out where we want to position it. Looks like I need to get some foam tape on the back of it. And then we'll get it laid down on here. Now I'm working with the ribbon, trying to figure out how does this work? What would look good with this? What do I want to do with it? And I'm just tucking and trying to see, is this going to work or not? And I'm just giving everything a press. I'm adding a little bit more glue because I just felt like it wasn't adhering well. So I'm just going to add some more glue to it. And I think we've decided we're going to not use the ribbon, and we're going to call this one finished. I think it looks nice. We've got a really pretty card. Now we just need to grab our sentiment and get something laid down on there for that. So this is where I'm bringing in, actually, I think I have another set that I used for this. I guess I did. I brought in the Valentine Happy Hour sentiment and used it. So we'll just get it pressed up. I think I did that because I was thinking I needed something for an engagement card too. So I don't know. Anyway, there is a specific set called Special Toast Sentiments that goes with that Special Toast die set. But I have a lot of better press things, and I must have decided that I wanted to use this one. So we're just pressing it. This one says click, sync. That's what made me think I was using it. There are similar sentiments. There's one that says pop, clink, click, clink, fizz, and celebrate. And then this one says clink, sip, and so they are similar. But I think I use the toasting to happily ever after on the inside of this card. And I actually add it later because when my daughter got there to get the card, I was showing her the card, and then she's like, we got to get something on the inside. And I thought, well, let's just, so we didn't have to write a bunch, let's just go ahead and add another sentiment to it, because I knew I had them because I had die cut them out. And so I just came back in and grabbed another one off of my desk because I had everything laying out. And so we just use the cheers to you on this one and keep it simple and small. And then I'll come back in later and add the toasting to happily ever after and add it on the inside. So I'll link both of those Better Press plates up because they're both work really well with this set. And I'm just going to put some foam tape on this and we'll just get it laid down. I decided to do that since I'm crossing, multiple layers of die cut pieces, and we just stick it down there and it'll be just fine. And I think it's a beautiful card. I'm going to bring in these black gems from Spellbinders, and I'm going to add some of them to the flowers and just kind of around the card. And we'll just add a little bit more dimension, a little bit of sparkle to it, and just kind of fill in some of that green area and put some on our poinsettias. And I actually thought about making 2 different videos with these 2 cards because they look very different, but it was one setting of crafting and it was pretty much the same product, so I just decided to go ahead and run it in one video. So this is the first one. This is for the Christmas wedding card, and then her best friend got engaged, and so I decided to use the set and just do a similar thing and create an engagement card. Now I'm using the black and blue because they are state troopers, all of them. And so I thought I would just do the black and blue for that. And we'll get this laid down. I die cut out one of the emerald cut nested dies from this blue panel here. And I'm going to use the remaining pieces for that bottom layer. And then we'll layer the black over it, in which we've used that diamond 3D embossed panel there. And then I'm going to use the other blue layer for my landing zone for my focal point. I thought that emerald die cut set kind of looked like a badge, and so that's why I chose to use it, because I thought, well, it'll kind of look like a badge. And so, and we've got the black and the blue, and I just thought it'd be fun. Both the friend that got engaged and her fiance are both troopers, so it just seemed fitting that I'd use these colors and try and kind of do like a badge. Anyway, so I've got a whole bunch of the engagement rings die cut out here, and you can see I used just one sheet of silver panel and I just got as much out of there as I could, and you can see some of them are halves and 3/4 and not full. And I've got vellum here that I've die cut out the diamonds with, and my goal is to use one full one for the center, and then to create a background panel with all of these other ones. And I can use these ones that are half and 3/4 and kind of hang them off the edge of the panel there. And so that's what we're going to do. So I'm just going to assemble a whole bunch of them, try and get the vellum stuck on the metallic silver cardstock there, and then we'll just create a background with diamond rings, and then we'll make one the focal point, and we will add a sentiment to it. So we'll just keep assembling and get it going. This is kind of a longer video, but we've got a lot going on and we have 2 cards, so I hope you stick with me to the end. It is helpful to the channel if you will watch to the end. Hey, and if you haven't subscribed, if you would consider subscribing, I would love that. I've been trying to really grow my channel, and I welcome all new subscribers. I do try to put out daily content. I've been very consistent in that. My schedule's changing a little bit. I hope to be able to continue to do that. And I work with a lot of Spellbinders products. So we'll just keep going. Get all of these little vellum diamonds attached to their little rings. And I did choose silver for this one because I have seen pictures of her engagement ring and she has got a silver ring. Now, I'm not sure what the cut of the diamond is, but she does have a silver ring. So I did choose to kind of match it. When I can check if they've got a gold ring, I do a gold. If they've got a silver, I'll do a silver. So now we've just got to get all these ring pieces laid down on this blue panel. And I'm using Cosmic Sky for the blue is the color that I'm using there. And again, the black is just a piece from Michael's. It's just kind of a 60-pound weight, and you can get a pretty good embossed detail out of it. So we're just going to scatter these all over the place. I think I'll speed it up, and then we'll come back to the ring part. And so I'm just going to get all these laid down on there. It's pretty redundant, so I thought, well, we'll just speed it up and get them on there. And you can see I'm just letting the half pieces just kind of hang over the edge and just kind of fill in. I needed another diamond, so I'm just die cutting those out so that I have it. And then I'm just going to fill in kind of those empty spots. And then we've got one ring left that we're going to use for the center of our panel. And I got this all assembled, and then I decide that I want to make it a landscape and not a portrait. And so I will figure that out. I've got two pieces there trying to decide which one I want to use. And I've got a black congrats, and I'm deciding that I need to bring in a different color for that. So what I did was I chose to use the bigger layer, and then I die cut out a smaller one in blue, and I'm just going to layer it up on there. I have a couple sizes there, just trying to decide what I want to work with and how I want to do it. And so we're just going to play around with it. And I decided that landscape would work much better. And so we're just going to get these panels laid down on there. And so we'll just bring in some foam tape. I'm going to pop this up. We've got that dimension from the embossed panel, and so I'm just going to use the foam tape to just help layer it up. And then these cards both actually got delivered the same day because, you know, they were all going to the same wedding together. So she was able to take her engagement gift to her friend and then the wedding card to the wedding and got to see everybody all at once. So I've got that panel laid down on there, and then we're going to layer these two up and get our congrats on there and our engagement ring laid on there. And I think we've got a fun card, and it's very custom for the person or the people, the couple. In fact, we when she did her card, you know, the card was for the happy couple. So I'm going to bring in some more foam tape, and we're going to pop it up again. Again, this one was hand delivered as well, so it's not an issue adding that dimension on there at all. And we're going to get this laid down on here. And I think I'm going to get this voiceover done just in enough time to go live. I've got a live scheduled for this evening with Daria. And so I guess I've allotted just enough time to get this one wrapped up and then get ready for the next one. Now, I have already die cut all my pieces and everything for the live, so I'm in good shape for that. I just need to get all the technical things set up and ready to go. So just putting a little bit of glue down on this and using my fingers so it doesn't seep and make a big mess. And then we'll get it positioned on there. And then we're going to lay our congrats on there. And I think it turned out nice. Kind of hard to see, I think, on the video because of the dark colors that I've chosen to use. But my daughter, when she got there, she was real pleased with both of the cards. She was real happy. So that's fun. And I'll tell you, I really like it when I'm making a card for a specific person for a specific event and I know what I'm doing with it. I really like that because, well, and it's immediately getting a home. And I like that because, you know, as many cards as I've got a lot of cards in my craft room, and I'm, eager to be able to, give them to a recipient when I can. So I love when I have a, a couple. This is a special order here. So anyway, I think it turned out fun. We've got the Christmas wedding card, and then we've got the engagement card. And here are some pictures for you to look at. So thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.